My first ever video, like a large majority of YouTubers, is pretty trash, and my content over time has evolved and become so much better. Whether it's the quality / resolution of the images to the animations on them. So in this video, I'm going to be re-editing this short to make it 10 times better than it was before. And at the end of the video, I will do a side-by-side comparison of how it was before and how it looks as the finished product. Now, just for reference, here's my first ever video.
She was stealing from. She's not a saint, she's not what you think. She's an actress.
So the first step is analyzing what we can improve with the video by looking at each individual flaw and fixing it. Okay, so I've just pulled up the video and now we're gonna go through the entire thing and just see what mistakes we've already made. So I'm just gonna click play, and if I see a mistake or something that will need to fix, then I'll just pause it and explain. Okay, I think the actual first thing that I actually need to talk about is, you can see here it literally just jumps to the next picture, and it's quite out of sync. So yeah, I'll play it again just so you can see it. Yeah, so this one's not as out of sync as the other ones, the other images that are much more out of sync than just this one. But yeah, that's definitely going to be something we need to fix. And as you can see, the image quality is actually still very bad, so that's going to be like probably one of the main things that we need to fix. I feel like it's also very slow, so I think we're gonna have to put animations on the images so that it just looks better and it's more entertaining to watch than just a picture and then another picture with like some captions. And as you can see, the captions are literally just blending in so much, so I can actually barely read it. I didn't even see this. I didn't see this one word. I'm not sure if you can see it, but yeah, it says "it's," but like it's just so hard to see. So yeah, that's gonna be one of the main things we need to fix.
She was stealing from. She's not a saint, she's not what you think. She's an actress.
Okay, another thing is, at the end, there's not captions. I'm not actually sure if this is good or not, because I feel like when I actually made this video, I used a much worse editing software. So like, we're going to be using CapCut, which is actually a great starting editing software for if you're just starting your YouTube channel. Whereas before, I actually used Shotcut, which is why the captions are like this, and it's just so bad. Whereas my other more recent videos are actually so much better than this. Now that we've completely went through the video, I think the next thing we need to do is actually just open up CapCut, take this thing in, and just completely revamp it to make it so much better. So now that we've opened CapCut, the first thing we need to do is import the audio of the song that we put in on the first video, and of course the images that we need. Now I recommend when importing your images that you should make sure they're always high resolution, as it just looks so much more clean and better inside of your CapCut made video. So I've just finished importing all the audio and images that we're going to need, and then the next step is taking your audio and dragging it into the timeline. Now I can already see that this audio has a very high volume sort of bar. So we're just going to reduce the volume to make it more pleasing to hear. Now that that's done, the next thing that we need to do is take our images and drag and drop it into the timeline where it needs to go. So we're going to first take out this one because this is the first image that we need that matches to the first part of the song. So I'm just going to quickly listen so that we can see when we have to cut off the image and then put in the next one. So I can see a good cutoff or in which we can do in this spot here. So we're just gonna cut it off right here. So then you can just delete that, the rest of the image, and then that's your first image done. And then you just repeat this for the rest of the timeline and just put your images where it needs to go. So I've just finished putting all the images in order, and something I didn't mention before is that when you go to this part, it's good to actually set it for shorts to 9:16, and if you're making a long form content, I recommend 16:9. But anyways, the next step after that, I like to go to the audio and just click fade out, as it's just so helpful because it kind of just, sometimes the audio kind of just cuts off and then it feels weird just not listening to more of it. So now that I've put a fade out on the audio, the next step, and something I really like to do for shorts and even sometimes long form content, but I don't think it's really recommended for that type of content, I like to go to filters and then add a few filters. Things that I recommend is Gold Coast, Garden, Amber, and Ocean Eyes. These are probably the best ones that I have found when searching through filters. You can add more if you want. I just recommend not adding too many, otherwise it's just going to make your image look quite bad. But you can select all four of these and then just change the intensity down until the image looks good for you. After this, you need to go to each image and size it to the full thing. Now, as you can see, it kind of cuts off a lot. So if it does that, then you should not make it fully sized up, but you'll see there's just like a slightly black part at the bottom and the top, but that's perfectly fine. But if there are images that you can fully size, then I recommend doing so, as it just looks so much better as a final product. Like this one, you can fully size it up and just center it, and then it just looks so much better just around the full thing. Okay, I just finished putting all the images full size, but something I actually forgot to do is when selecting your filters, if I can actually select them, then you actually need to drag it to the end of the entire shorts, like where the end is, so that it just lasts through every image. But now that that's done, the next step, and one of the most important steps I'd say, is actually putting on animation. So if you just click onto one of the images, then you'll see by video you have this thing called animation. Now you have a ton of different animations like zoom 1, zoom 2, slide right, fade in, a bunch of really cool ones which you can test out and play with to find what's best for you. Now, I don't really like using ins and outs because it just doesn't really last. I like to use combos instead, which is basically an in and out combined, but it just looks so much more smooth and better. The ones that I'd recommend for combos, because there's some ones like this one that I just really think looks kind of odd. The ones that I would recommend though is zoom 1, zoom 2, bounce not so much, but it is decent. Sway out is good, pendulum, bounce 2, also same as bounce 1, just different side. It's kind of good, but it's not the best. Wobble as well, I'd say, is kind of related to bounce 2. It's not the best, but it's good. Sway in is also very good. Pendulum 2 is good. Right zoom, very good. Full left, bend zoom, full right, zoom spin, pan left. Any of these ones that I'd say like I've seen just don't really work. And also the ones that also have like the black at the back, I also don't recommend. So you can see there's these ones and these two and this one, and then there's also just some like really wavy sort of ones that's in this sort of category. But yeah, you can test out with a bunch of different combo animations and see which one works best for you. Another tip when using animations is to actually put 2 in a row. So if I put zoom 1 here and then I go to the next one and then I put the animation and then I click zoom 2, then it actually kind of correlates a lot. So then let me just play it so that you can actually see how good it looks.
It started when it was hot and it was summer and
you can see that it zooms in here and then out, and then it zooms back in. So yeah, it just looks so much better when you do 2 in a row. And another one that's also good is pendulum, because you can see the image goes right, but then for pendulum 2 it goes left, so it kind of looks like it's swaying one way and then it's coming back. So yeah, I can show again how it looks when you use pendulum 1 and pendulum 2 in a row. So I'm just going to play it from here and then we'll see how it looks.
She came along, got him alone, and that's who they
So you can just see that it just goes one way and then the other way, and it just looks so good. So I'm just going to repeat this for everyone. You can use whichever combos you desire. So now that I've finished putting in all the animations, the next step is to actually just watch back and see if you want to change any animations or change any filters or change any of the images, and basically just change anything, see if anything's wrong. And you're not going to get it right all the time, but it's good to check just to make sure that it's good. But one thing I do want to mention just before we do that is do not ever mix animations and transitions, as it just makes it look so whack. So yeah, I'll put one here just for reference, just so you can see how it looks. It just it just looks so odd.
was summer and I had it all, I had
You can see that it just jumps and it just looks so weird and out of place. But now that we've already done that, we can just watch back the video, see if there's any mistakes, and then we'll move on to the next step, which is going to be captions. So now that we've finished reviewing the footage, the next step is to go to captions. So there's already, if you have the most updated version in CapCut, there's already auto lyrics and auto captions. Now of course this is a song, so we're going to use auto lyrics, but if you had any other thing like just someone talking for the audio, like yourself or someone else, then it would be good to use auto captions. Now that it's finished, you can actually see that it takes really short amount of time, and you'll also see that it's not completely accurate as the song doesn't really start yet, but I like to put the captions all the way from the very start to the very end of each image where it matches. And you're just going to have to go in and edit the text to make sure that it matches with each image, and then have one for each image. So like this, you can split into 2 because you don't want it to have the same text for 2 different images, as it just looks so much more clean. Something just before we do that though is when you click onto one of the texts, then you'll see that this says apply all, but if you do want to change only one, then you're just going to have to turn this off. But for the meanwhile, we're going to have this on, because something I do want to do, and this just makes captions look so much better, is either doing this or this. Now I recommend doing this if you're just doing normal text as is, but if you want to specifically make the inside text look like it's a different color, for like if you're color coding each text to each different character in Percy Jackson or whatever short you're making it about. So first of all, I'm just going to match each of the images to each of the captions that is here, and then I'll come back when it's all done. So once we've completed all of these steps, the next thing we need to do is actually just go menu, file, exports, and then you can export the file. You can change the name here if you want to. And there you go. Now you have your entire short fully exported, and you can just click open folder, and then you'll have your short inside of File Explorer, and then you can do whatever you want with your shorts. And one thing that I do want to mention, if you do find a mistake in your video, then it is good to just go back into CapCut, fix the mistake, and then re-export it into the same name and just replace the file so that it's gone. So, of course, we need to do the final comparison between my first ever video being made and, of course, the final product of it being remade. So first, of course, the original video that I made is this one.
The story starts when it was hot and it was summer and I had it all, I had
and of course the new improved version, which is this one.
She was stealing from. She's not a saint, she's not what you think. She's an actress.
So I hope you enjoyed this video of me re-editing my shorts and making it so much better than it was before, as I actually made that short at the start of this year, and it's just crazy how far you can come and just make a short so much better than it was just from learning on CapCut and watching YouTube videos on how to be better and learn more. And I hope this video also helps you become better if you're trying to edit videos in CapCut and just have your videos with animations, better image quality, good captions, and a lot of different things that just make it so much better and more quality. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've made it this far, then it would be so great if you like and subscribe, as it would just help out a ton.